Oh my gosh. Good morning. I'm out here in my shop today working on my truck Dig Dug, and I left off working on the rear suspension. So that's where I'm gonna pick back up today. As you can see back here, I've got some pool noodles that are not structural. Those are actually just a visual aid. The main measurement that I need to get is the weight, the unsprung weight of the rear of the vehicle. To help figure out the weight of the back of Dig Dug, I borrowed this black box over here from George's at Misadventure Labs, and I'm very curious about what's inside. Let's check it out. It looks like we've got some scales here, and I'm firing it up. All right, 185 pounds. Okay, I think this is gonna be great. It looks like there's 4 of them in there, so ideally I would stick one under each tire, but I'm trying to get the unsprung weight, so I can't really do that on the front end. I'm just gonna have to stick them under the tires. On the back end, I'm gonna lift up the back end with a jack and try to get the scale on the jack somehow. So I'll just get one weight, but it should be pretty even. It'll just get divided by 2. And there's a bunch of stuff missing in the back, so I'm gonna have to add in weight for tubes and fenders and all the stuff that I cut out. This big tire that I've got on the back will help simulate the fuel tank, and it's about the right position for the fuel tank. So we'll have to add a few hundred pounds, but it should get us in the ballpark. I just gotta figure out how these work now. Well, let me try this. Oh, look at that. If I shift to my right foot, shift to my left foot. Okay, that's pretty interesting. If I shift feet, the total still adds up to 186. I think this is gonna work. Okay, I lowered the lift onto the front 2 scales, so I'm gonna go see what the box says. I'm just under 3,000 pounds, and I'm really surprised to see that the left slide is slightly heavier than the right. I thought the right with the differential drive shaft transfer case would be a little heavier, but the scales say no. I'm gonna jack up the back now and get a scale on that and try to get an unsprung weight for the rear of the vehicle so I can figure out what size springs I need to buy. All right, this is my idea. I'm gonna use my transmission jack. Hopefully it has enough oomph to get this up. And I'll stack something in here, maybe my cinder block, and we'll put a scale on here, and that should give us the weight of the back end of the vehicle. I only need to pick it up a tiny bit. I don't even need to pick up the wheels. I just need to get the weight onto this. Forgot I have to cut these supports down here, or it's gonna try to pick up the whole axle. So I gotta reconfigure these pool noodles and get them out of the way, chop these really quick, then I can get my measurement. Here's what my setup looks like. And then I'm gonna add foam on top of it so I don't like smash one spot of the scale, it spreads it out. The truck is sitting on 3 scales now, so I should get a good reading on what the back weighs, and I can divide that by 2 for each of the shocks in the back, and we'll have a good weight on the front. The weight on the front includes the axle and the tires, so I'll need to subtract those off to get unsprung weight, but that shouldn't be too hard to do. Here we go. Looks like the back is showing 578 pounds, so I'll just need to add in what I think the rest of the weight will be for the bed and the tubing that'll all get installed back there. After I get a number, I can do a little bit of math and figure out what springs I need to order. The next thing that I want to start figuring out for Dig Dug is the drivetrain. And what I have here is the transfer case and doubler out of the world's largest off-road record. This transfer case was sent back to Off-Road Designs, completely rebuilt, and then Stephen Watson brought it back out here, and now it's going in Dig Dug. The back half of this is an NP205. That's what's in Dig Dug right now, and it has a 1.96 to 1 low gear ratio. The front half is the doubler. That's what I don't have, and this has a 2.72 to 1 rear low ratio. So when you combine them, you can get 5.4 to 1 low. That'll be a great upgrade for Dig Dug and provide lots of different low range gear ratios. Unfortunately, this setup won't bolt directly to the transmission that I have in Dig Dug, so I've got something else to show you. This is a new 4L60E transmission from Summit Racing. With the right adapter, this should bolt up to the doubler, and then I'll have a whole new drivetrain. This transmission is exactly like the one I have in Dig Dug right now, but it's a little bit different. It's electronically controlled and it has a different bolt pattern here on the back. The electronic control is why I'm also upgrading to the Holley Terminator X Max so it can control the transmission as well as the engine. I've been hoarding a couple of these transmissions in the back corner here for a long time, and I think I have an old one with the right adapter on the back end, so I'm gonna go pull that out and see what we've got. I don't know if it was just good luck or my excellent hoarding instincts, but 5 years ago I picked up this transmission for a song, and now I'm gonna pull that adapter off the back and go test fit it over on that transmission. Oh, there it is. Fell right off. This is what we need to test fit onto the transmission. Oh, that looks like it's gonna fit perfect. Okay, no question there. And we have almost no stick out on the output shaft. Okay, now I'll try it on the transfer case. It looks like the adapter is gonna work on this side too, which is perfect. Because of the doubler, my whole transfer case is moving back 8 inches in the chassis, so I'm gonna have to relocate the crossmember that mounts it. And I don't really like the one that's in there. It's kind of a cheap stamped steel thing. I want to build something really strong out of that 2x3 tube that I have, and I'm going to have to design a whole bunch of brackets to go on it. I'll show you what I'm working on. This is the crossmember that I have in the truck right now, and it needs to move back like 8 inches, and it's kind of weak. It'll bend and flex if it gets hit with rocks. So I want to build something really tough that'll go back here more. So I'm doing a little design work to figure that out. For now, I'm still noodling on what that cross member is gonna look like, but I need to move on to the front of the truck because there's a whole bunch of stuff under the hood that needs to come out. I wanna rework this whole battery area. The fuses and this distribution panel down here are kind of a mess. I wanna simplify that. I've got a bunch of fuel hoses and a fuel filter in here I can pull out. They'll get rerouted later. And I've got the air compressor and the tank over here from when I was running an air locker, which I don't think I'm gonna need anymore. I also won't need the transmission throttle valve cable because the new transmission is electronically controlled. While I'm working under here, there's a bunch of wiring I can get rid of too, and when we rewire it, I'll try to simplify a lot of that and keep it in wire looms. So there's lots to do down here. Right now, I'm just gonna start removing stuff. All right, we've got a lot of stuff out of here and it's looking better, but I want to get this battery tray out of here and it's welded to this electrical panel, which I don't want to mess with right now. So I'm going to chop these apart and then I can get the battery tray out of here. I got it out of there. This is the battery tray. And I have rebuilt this a couple of times. It's gone through a few different versions. Originally I held 2 batteries and then I simplified it so it would hold 1 battery. And now I'm gonna rebuild it again so it'll hold 1 better battery. This right here is the battery that I'm gonna be putting into my truck. This is a full throttle battery. And I love these batteries because this is the battery that saved my life. I know that sounds crazy, but we took the Banana and the Wrecker and all the vehicles down into the sand chute one day. We got them all stuck and they were all broken, including the Banana, which didn't have a working alternator. We didn't know at the time. So we fully burned up the battery in the Banana. And then Matt went and took one of the batteries out of the Wrecker. We put that in the Banana and I went tearing up the sand chute with that battery sitting on the floor, like on the passenger side floor, hooked up to the car with some jumper cables. And when I got to the top, I hit some big ruts and I bounced around. That battery tipped against the seat mounting bracket and it started to arc against the bracket. And my seatbelt locked up, like I couldn't move and get out of my seat. So I was screaming for help. Help! Help! Need help! He needs help. Help! I need some help! and everybody thought I was hurt, but I just didn't want that battery to blow up or burn up or light on fire or shoot acid all over me. They finally got to me and I told them, I'm fine, just unhook that battery. And that battery was fine. It didn't do anything crazy, it just kept working. We hooked it back up and we drove that vehicle all the way home. So after winching and arcing against the seat mount, that battery just worked all day and got us out of there. So after that experience, I'm gonna run these in everything because I love these batteries. This is a AGM battery, they're super tough. And I picked a nice big one to put in my truck. So I'm not running 2 batteries anymore. I just want to run 1 big battery because that's a really simple setup. So I picked a Group 24 battery because it's a little bigger than the common 34 size. I like it, more cold cranking amps and more reserve capacity. This one's actually a marine style battery, so it's got the extra posts on the top that I can use to hook up extra things. So I think that'll be really nice in here. So I picked up this battery mounting kit from Ruff Stuff Specialties. So I'm gonna take my old battery cage and I'm gonna chop it up so I can fit the Ruff Stuff box down in there and it'll hold everything nice and tight. So all of this is gonna have to wait because it's late and tomorrow I'm heading back up to Idaho for another trip. And I've got a really cool stop along the way and I'll take you along with me. We're on the road this morning heading to Idaho. I'm about to pull into Maverick here in Fillmore. And we're gonna stop in a little bit at Resurgence Automotive. This is an awesome company that I'm looking at to possibly paint Dig Dug, and I wanna check out some of the projects they got there and see what they're up to. So I'll show you what's going on. We're just gonna diesel up really quick, grab some snacks. We are almost to Resurgence Automotive, and we'll just check out what they're doing over there.
Your destination is on the right.
Oh yeah, there's Sasquatch. All right, I don't see any signs, but this looks like the right place. Okay, we're here inside Resurgence Automotive now, and I'm here with Rob and Nate. They're the owners, and these guys do incredible work. They've got a whole bunch of Broncos and other stuff in here that they're building, and a lot of these cars you guys build from scratch and completely remake the bodies.
Yep, brand new bodies.
These are cars from the 60s and 70s that have a entirely brand new body. They make the tub, the doors, the cab, you weld the whole thing together.
Yep, everything's welded together as if the factory did it.
That's incredible. Okay, I'm gonna take you around and show you some of these because they just look amazing.
This is a 74.
I'm just
There'll
gonna
be a
get
lot of similarities here because the blue one over there is a 74 also.
This is a 74 right here, and it's an entirely brand new body that these guys put together. Oh my gosh.
Still putting the air conditioning together to finish that up and then get it the rest of the way roadworthy.
How about this right here? Is this another one you guys did?
Yep, this is another brand new body. This one's got the blueprint engine in it. We're gonna finish all the paint work and the body work on this one, and then it's gonna get shipped back to the customer. He's gonna do a lot of his own mechanic work.
But if somebody brought you an old chassis, just a frame off a Bronco, you can turn that into a Bronco.
Something
We
just
can
like
turn it
this.
into something just like this.
That's
Just like
incredible.
this.
Yeah.
Yep.
Check this. Every panel on this thing is brand new. They put these together. They welded the whole tub together, and they've basically got a brand new old Bronco.
This is a brand new color from from the new Broncos as well. It's called Cactus Gray. We just shipped another one that's in the Area 51 blue color as well.
They go on and on. There's Broncos all over the shop. There's Broncos outside. How many of these do you guys do a year?
There's 17 here right now. We're probably pushing 12 to 14 a year.
Another one right here, brand new Coyote engine, 10-speed transmission.
Yep, 10 or 80 transmission. Still has a Data 20 transfer case, power steering, power brakes, air conditioning.
What did this come to you as? Was this just a chassis? Was this
Just a chassis, yep. Just a bare chassis.
They
We
brought in a frame and they'll take back an entire Bronco.
take back an entire Bronco. He's gonna walk you through the Chevelle. I'm gonna cover this car.
This is going to be another vehicle that they put together for SEMA, so it's going to have some really cool stuff in it that nobody has seen yet.
Mock-up block is a brand new product from Summit Racing. It's meant to mimic an LS platform, so we can actually build. We'll have our intake here hopefully today, so we can do that. So you can set an intake on it, valve covers, as you can see the exhaust manifolds, the full accessory drive, the transmission bell housing and transmission are bolted onto the back of it. So we can do our full entire engine bay mock-up without actually having to have the actual engine in there. And it'll make 800 horsepower too.
800.
Yep, so the Pro Charger sponsored it. So we got this in last week. so we can get all of our intercooler piping and all of our intake tubes and everything mocked up. The motor for this one's coming from Blueprint Engines as well. It dynoed at their factory at 600 horsepower and running anywhere from 5 to 6 pounds of boost. We should be in the 800 to 850 horsepower range. But this motor it'll be 1,000 horsepower capable when it's all said and done. The tires are actually 305s on the rear, so they're super wide.
These are the Mickey Thompsons that'll go on it.
These are the Mickey Thompsons. Yep, these are the ones that are going on it. So the rear quarters, what we actually did when we put these on, when these quarters went on from Auto Metal Direct, we actually flared these quarters out almost 2 inches. So the back of the car is going to be 4 inches wider total once it's all said and done. And you can see a little bit of that flare here.
Oh yeah.
The rocker panel will actually make it so the rocker panel will actually come out and meet this quarter, but that's meant to compensate the wider tires.
I'm looking at this trying to figure out what it is, and they told me they chopped 20 inches out of a Mini Cooper.
22 actually. What we did was took the whole entire back seat out of it and the whole entire rear window, cut the car in half from here, brought the back forward and sectioned it in the middle because the car's wider than...
Because the Mini Cooper was too long for somebody?
Yeah, so they actually call this a shorty.
If you need a shorty, talk to these guys.
Yep, we'll cut your car in half for you.
Thanks guys for showing me the shop. This place is incredible, love what you do. And I've been talking to these guys and they're gonna paint Dig Dug for me, which I'm super excited about.
We are too. We're excited to help out.
Yeah, so thank you for the tour. Appreciate
You're welcome.
it, guys.
Thank you. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by.
Okay, we're gonna get back on the road. That was awesome to stop at Resurgence Automotive and see what they had going on. So many cool projects in there. Nate and Rob are also really great guys, so it's gonna be good to work with them. I talked to Robbie Layden about painting Dig Dug, and he just had so much going on that it wasn't gonna happen anytime soon. So these guys will be great, and I'm excited to see what they do with the truck.
It's a beautiful day here in Idaho. It feels amazing. Probably 73 degrees. What
We're
are we
just
doing?
cooking bacon and eggs. We're trying to feed about 50 people. They don't want to be on the camera, so we're just showing you the food.
Well, with that anchor.
All right, we were here in Idaho, and there's always stuff to do and always oil to change. So we're here doing another oil change. Look at this. There's a little tray right here that catches all the oil and funnels it right into the pan. I'm putting in 5W40 because this tired old engine needs something just a little bit thicker. Okay, looks good. I think we're all done here. I'll see you guys back in the shop right now. I'm back out here working on this battery cage, and I'm gonna start by cleaning the whole thing up and trimming off pieces that I know I don't need. That's looking pretty good now. I'm gonna hit it really quick with a POR 15 weld through primer because there's some areas I'm not gonna be able to reach after I get the cage tacked in there. That's plenty of welding. There's a whole bunch more I can start cutting off now. All of this. This little radius corner right here isn't gonna work because they would hit the battery. So I'm gonna chop one of these 90-degree bends out of this piece I cut off and patch it in right there. The welding is all done on this, and I'm gonna clean it all up now. I'm gonna take all the sharp edges off and sand it a little bit, and then I can hit it with some paint. While I'm waiting for the paint to dry, I'm gonna start working on installing a Premier Power Welder in my truck. These things are super tough, so I'll feel good about running the engine while I'm winching, which means I'll have a couple extra volts, makes the winch more powerful, and it also keeps the winch cooler because you don't run as many amps. This will be a great addition to the truck, as well as the welder capability. That'll help open up a whole bunch of possibilities when I'm doing off-road recoveries. Right now I'm just gonna put the alternator in the truck, and it looks like it's pretty much the same size as the alternator I already have in there, so this should be an easy swap. My alternator is kind of tucked back under there, but I think I can get to it without removing the intake. All right, there's the old one. Let's go see if the other one is the same size. This new alternator is definitely a little bit bigger, so it's gonna be a tight fit. I'm just gonna go give it a try and see what happens. If that little piece gives me trouble, I'm chopping it off. With a little bit of tapping, I think I can drive it down in there. All right, that was a perfect fit. Looking good. That fit down in there perfect, nice and tight, and I didn't have to chop off that little loop on the top. It has a much bigger stud on the backside, so I'll have to run a bigger wire, but that's great because it's making a ton more amperage. I'm gonna go back now and check on the battery tray I was working on, see if it's dry and if we can put that in next. I'm gonna have to recoat the top of this because it's stuck to the wood that I put it on. Probably not the best move, but the rest of it's dry, so I can go install the tray right now. Time to find out if this is gonna fit. Ooh, that is looking good. All right, this is going good down here. The tray sits a lot closer to the radiator core support, so the battery's not sticking out as far. That's gonna make it stronger, and it bolted right in. I was worried that welding would warp it a little bit, but it still fits really good. So I'm gonna go grab the battery and we'll test fit it down in here. Oh yeah. That is looking really good in there. If you want to get the absolute best battery for your vehicle, check out Full Throttle Batteries. You can use code TOMTOM at checkout for 10% off. And there's a link in the description of this video that'll take you to their website and apply that discount automatically. Woohoo! My Ruff Stuff cage is holding my Group 27 battery perfectly. It's made for a Group 34, but this one's just a little bit taller and I just need to get longer bolts, so it'll bolt down there. But this battery is gonna be locked in here better than ever. Now that this battery tray is not hooked up to anything else, I can get the inner fenders out of here and some other stuff to start cleaning up this engine bay. The guys at Resurgence Automotive, they gave me a ton of great ideas on how to clean this space up. So there's a few things that I need to buy, and then there's a whole bunch more work that I have to do under the hood. Right now my shop is a total mess, so I've got to go clean that up. Thanks for watching.